Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Akabodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS. One peace and salutation to the elect. My name is Ainam. The title of this video is All Roads Lead to the Micro C Head. All right, MOTV. And just watching, keeping watch on this thing with everything happening in the world. We know that this micro C-HIP is near and is close, and everyone's talking about it. I'm kind of surprised because it's like all of a sudden, different people are speaking about it. I've seen multiple videos from brothers with different individuals just talking about it, like they always knew about it. But whatever the case may be, Esau Edom is going to come with that micro C-HIP, right? The time is ripe, right? All hell is breaking loose, right? What's happening now in the world, it leads to opportunities, right, that this devil can use to bring in his new world order, right? Because we already see that World War III is here, right? We see Jacob Trouble is here, right? ISIS going around the world, buying up the buildings, detention centers, and things like that. ICE was already talking about the fact that they're going to chip individuals, right? Once they get you there, that was something they said, so they know about the MOTV, the micro C-HIP, right? And now you got Mexico and this crypto gun here, they're taking steps to lead towards this micro C-HIP, right? China is talking about increasing, right? And getting implantable devices. America is talking about increasing and getting implantable devices, right? And I believe they already have this technology ready. And the reason why I say that is because their own goal was to get it by 2030. And if you take these devils for whatever they got, with this devil talking about he planned to do these different things on these different dates, and it kind of makes sense, but it's not his plan, right? The Most High Yahweh Bashmi Shai is directing the steps of these devils, right? They do things about off the moons, the events. That's why you can go right now and see when the red moon is gonna come, and they already know. It's already tracked. They already know about how these things are gonna happen and when they're coming in. So so that's a good example right there. It's not like it's a surprise. It's not like, oh shoot, the moon is red. We didn't even know. No, they tell you like way before, like, yo, it's gonna be red right here on this date. So they map things off of these times, but because they're tapping into these left-hand sources, right, seeking to the idols and to the charmers, that's what the Most High Yahweh Bashmi Shah said they would do. All right, and he's definitely dealing with them on the left-hand side. He got them in a super trick bag. And we should be able to see that, and then we do with the spiritual eye, because everything they're doing is lining up with the scriptures. They're going off of these events like these moons and things like that. The scriptures say you shall see signs in the moons and the sun. The scriptures say, don't be dismayed at the heavens, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Going into just the different events happening and things like that. For these devils, these are signs for them to continue doing what they're doing, right? For us, it's signs to know that things is happening. The Most High is working, right? They're on a different type of tip than us. Different spirit, different. They're on a different side. They're on the left hand side dealing with the demons, right? The left hand sources, we're dealing with Yahweh Bashmi Shai. Now, this is Isaiah 19:3. It says, "In the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards," right? Isaiah 47 tells us also that these devils be doing this. Isaiah 47:8, it says, Therefore, hear now this, thou that are given to pleasures. Uh, make sure you get it down. When I wanted was in 12, but I'll start at 8. Therefore, hear now this, thou that are given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Yo, these devils are super prideful because everything that these demons are, telling them is happening. So they're thinking that they're good. They're thinking that the Most High Yahweh Bashmiah is with them. Right? The scriptures say that they thought he was altogether as thyself. Right? Because everything they're doing it seems to be working, but he's leading them to perdition. Right? It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. These devils have a great abundance of enchantments and sorceries. All right, tapping in on those left-hand sources, sides, and all of that. That's how they know these different things. That's why the scriptures say he has an end. Right, Revelation 12 and 12, he knows, right? Because he knows. The scriptures say he's wiser than Daniel. All right. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. This devil know everything that's going to happen pretty much. Different things are going to take place. All right. It ain't, it's very possible. Okay. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. So this devil has been using these different enchantments and things like that since the beginning of time. Right, but it's all going according to the plans of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And we know this because the scriptures, right, they are faithful and they are true. Everything this devil is doing is lying on rat with scriptures. Right, he's going to be destroyed. So anyway, so all roads lead to the micro CEO, right? All roads leads to the MOTB, the mark of the beast. Everyone is talking about it. Even when I get to this China's talking about they're trying to have it done within 3 to 5 years, and that lines up with the 2030 agenda too. So they all on the same thing, right? This is winning the 6G race. This is from the White House official government page, right? Just jumping down right here, section 1, purpose. It says the next generation of mobile communication networks, 6G, like I said, which I believe, it's already there. It ain't too much they got to do. I remember a while ago, Trump was complaining about basically like energy, right? You need more energy. So you got these AI data centers being built up all around, and which are pretty much already in place, right? If they was lacking anything, it would have been the energy, right? It's something they have been building and working up from the last I seen him said that, which I can't remember exactly. I wanted to do a video on it, and when I went to go look for that a while ago, and I couldn't find that video where he was complaining about the energy. All right, but now they got the AI data centers and all of that. It says the next generation of mobile communication network, 6G, will be foundational to the national security, foreign policy, and economic prosperity of the United States. This technology will play a pivotal role in the development and adoption of emerging technologies so we have emerging technologies, soon to come technologies like artificial intelligence, AI, ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, right? DeepSeek, all these little different things that they got out here. All right. Robotics. We see the different robots now dancing, doing backflips. They got robot, machinery. They got the drones, which are like robots, and different things like that. And implantable technologies, which they already have. Even the elder Apostle Hart has one of those devices, somewhere in his house. One of their brothers gave it to him. He's still looking for it, but they've been got it. It's already ready. You know, it says which is the MOTB. The RFID chip is the MOTB, a physical device that will be implemented into your skin. And we see this thing coming soon. All right, so we're warning you. Because I mean, when that time comes, Amos 8 and 11, you gotta remember all hell is going to be breaking loose. All right, during that time, who knows if we'll be able to tell you? Who knows if we'll be able to tell you, like, look, this is the chip, because we're warning you about the chip right now. We're telling you exactly what it is, how they coming and how they doing. All right, but I know during that time for them to try to give you the chip, all hell will have to be breaking loose for people to accept that chip. So we'll probably be moving as pilgrims during that time. And if you need that chip to do anything, which the prophets ain't taking it, then we won't be able to upload videos and things like that. They're already asking for ID and all of that to be on YouTube. So it's going to be a time where it's dark and you're going to want answers, and you won't be able to get them from the prophets. All right, you might find a false prophet that gives you some fake, false, phony information. 6G will also provide faster, more resilient, and more secure communication networks that can be utilized for national security and public safety purposes. All right. So that's whitehouse.gov. This is CryptoGun. This is March 4th, 2026. Says Mexico mandates biometric SIM registration for all phone youth members. Now, this could be something like the Real ID that America had, where it wanted you to get the Real ID, which is the new license with the star next to whatever the case may be, to put you on some type of digital database, so you're already registered and linked in the system. Your likeness, right? Your name, all that stuff is there in the digital system. So when they scan you, that's what will come up. When they scan your chip, your likeness and everything about you will come up in that digital system. So that's the database. Database has already been implemented and put into place. Your name and all of that, and a refresh new name too, right? You see that they're doing new things, so make sure you get updated pictures and everything here at the end. Once they fully roll this thing out, everything's fresh and updated and new. If you was a bad little baddie back then, now you kind of fucked up, they're gonna get you while you fucked up. They got to make sure they get you exactly how you is. All right, for that digital thing, because they're gonna have the Palantir AI tracking face recognition and things like that. So all of it needs to be updated. So this is something along the lines of that. I believe Real ID. It wants Mexico to, if you want a phone, basically Mexico, you have to have this. You have to have your data in the biometric data system. All right, if you want a phone, that's what it's saying. All right. By July 1st, they need this. By July 1st, 2026. And remember, same thing happened in UK. It's the same thing, just the database system. You have to register by the end of Parliament. They just want you to get your data, your system in that database. By July 1st, 2026, every active cell phone number in the country must be biometrically linked to a named government credential individual or face suspicion. Suspicion. That's around 127 million numbers, each one tethered to an identity the Mexican government can look up by name. Yeah, for that chip, by the Palantir, right? By all of that, by the new world order system they're about to implement. The mobile registration law took effect January 9th, 2026. That was today, I believe. All right, it was today. It says covering prepaid and postpaid plans, physical SIMs and eSIMs alike. Everybody got a different way to do it. They're doing it with the phones. UK did it with registering for jobs. If you want to work in UK, you gotta be in a database by the end of Parliament, right? America, they tricked me. First of all, they gave me a hard time anyway. I'm trying to get my new license to renew it, and they're giving me a hard time about it. And the whole time they gave me the whole Real ID license thing. I didn't even know, about it. I just knew that the new license was. They was telling me, they was telling me something about that new license. I remember one time I had a job where I was trying to go to Alaska or something, and it was like you would need that or whatever. But that was like a while ago, and then I forgot about it. And then when I went again to go get it, whatever the case may be, I got it. All right. but it's not the MOTB. It's not like it's a problem. Doesn't really matter. They already know about everybody in the world anyway. But they want you in that system. Updated picture and all of that. All right. So existing subscribers have until June 30th to complete registration. New lines activated after January 9th get 30 days, miss the window, and the line goes dark. The enforcement mechanism runs through the CURP biometric, Mexico's biometric upgrade to its existing population registry code. See, so they're trying to update the existing population, right? Just update it. The new credential embeds a photograph, electric signature, and QR code that ties directly to biometrically verified records held in the national registry. See, so they need those records about you in their data system. All right, so when they scan you, all your information pulls up. When they scan you, they don't just see a face now. Like, who is this? Let's put his face into the computer and let the computer scan it. And then, you ever seen the movies where the old FBI movies, where the case may be, they can take a picture of you and then they put it in the FBI system and it does like a 3D model of your face. They can end up finding you and all of that. It takes a little time, but now they got it where once they see you, they got you and it's over with, right? They know everything about you and all of that. And then on top of that, they're going to get an MOTB. Now they're tracking you too, all right? Where they can just put your name in a system and the camera that's in space, it already know where you at. And it moves the camera lens over to where you at. Like if you was in America and you trying to hide, you went to Russia, the camera gonna go over there, and look at you. It's like, yeah, he's walking over there, right? Residents registering a mobile line must provide their CURP number alongside a valid government ID, which makes biometric enrollment not optional but strictly required. Strictly required. That's what they're doing, right? You cannot register a phone number without first handing your biometric data to the states. All right, it's gonna come a point in time where people in America, to get up out of the detention centers and things like that, to be considered as a citizen, even if you already a citizen, you have the pellest skin on earth. Not that it matters, but you're gonna need that chip to exit up out of there. All right, China. Beijing just made brain-computer interfaces a national priority. A top expert believes the technology will reach everyday Chinese citizens sooner than most expect. All right. I don't know how to pronounce his names like that. Says he said that practical BCI brain computer implants, right, products could enter public service within 3 to 5 years as the technology matures and policies sketch up. That'd be around 2030, the same time where Esau is talking about he wants his little system set up before 2030, basically, right? All right, let's see. Says a leading Chinese BCI expert predicts that practical brain-computer interface products could serve the public within 3 to 5 years. China now has more than 10 active invasive BCI human trials, same thing like Neuralink, things like that, matching the United States, and plans to enroll 50 plus patients this year. Beijing's new 5-year plan elevates BCI to a core strategic industry alongside quantum computing, 6G, and nuclear fusion. So it's up there at the top of the list. What they're saying, what are my priorities? And then this brain computer interface is among the top. All right. Says China's latest 5-year plan released this week places BCIs among the country's core future strategic industries. The technology now sits in the same tier as quantum computing, embodied AI. Let me see what it's supposed to be like in your skin. That's what they're talking about, in your body. The integration of artificial intelligence into physical systems. Okay, being you. 6G and nuclear fusion, a clear signal of how seriously Beijing is treating the field. All right, so they're moving full steam ahead with this thing, right? And like I said, they're all talking about it right now. Right, time is short. And they want this thing by 2030, but the Most High Yahweh Bashar is shortening the days. All right, so sometime between now and 2030, we will see this thing. And like I say, I be saying sometimes we're gonna be in complete hell, you know, for them to bring that thing, this chip in. We're gonna be in complete hell, some type of false flag event, global event, aliens, whatever they're gonna do, all right, to bring this thing in. And now at the time, it seems, because this is not cooling down. All hell is about to break loose, and it's not getting better. This is not getting better. They're talking about to fix the oil problem. It's gonna take months, but that's after they start fighting. And they both sides are talking about we're just beginning, and then you got new people joining in telling me I'm just getting started. So all hell is breaking loose. New policies will not change this overnight or change things overnight. I think another 3 to 5 years would, I don't believe they have this. That's what they want, right? They wanted 2030. Like I was going to earlier, they set things in certain times, but the Most High is going to confuse the council. Things are going to spiral out of control. Isaiah 47. I just read that things are going to spiral out of control for them. They're no longer going to think like they just got it all together. All right. We will gradually see some BCI products moving toward actual practical service for the public. All right. The ambition is backed by a national BCI development strategy from last year, which target major technical breakthroughs by 2027. So look, they even by 2027, they talking about, hold on, and that's next year. By 2030, China wants to produce 2 or 3 world-class BCI companies. So they already got the technology to do like the first car, like I like to say. You got the first car, it was the first car, right? Of course, you got many other cars after that, but the first car is, that's gonna be the first chip and the last chip too. All right, so just showing you that this thing is here, right? It's around the corner, right? They have it, they're working on it, they're trying to increase it, they're trying to build up the systems, because you got to remember their inward thought is that the house shall continue forever. So they're doing shit where they think, okay, I got it, but how can I make it better? What's the next one? We're on iPhone, like I don't know, 9 or something, 10, 11, 13, 40. So that's what they want with the chip, but they only gonna get the one. All right, Revelation 13. And get it from 11. Revelation 13:11 says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. This is your Republican and Democratic Party, right? But he spake as a dragon because all roads lead to the MOTB, because they're all pushing the same thing. I don't know what has gotten better or gotten worse with all these different presidents. Nothing has changed. We have been accomplishing the same agendas. The small hatters, the small toppers, the little hatters. Tiny Talk was talking about how this was their plan to accomplish 7 wars and end it with Iran. And that was back with one of the other presidents. And now look where we're at. We're in Iran with this president. So the same things have been happening. It says, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, which is Rome, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, because they're the Roman Empire revised, right? Through the Renaissance period, Rome came back, right? Through America, right? And the world worships America, and America has, founded and structured its government back off of Rome. It says that he doeth great wonders, so that he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. That was that sword, that great sword, the nuclear weapons. All right. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Right? Yeah, the whole world was still before him. Right? Who can make war with this devil that has atomic bombs, right? Blowing up whole cities in one bomb, and no one else had that thing. But now everybody got it. Right? It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and they lived. So the whole world is going what? The MOTB, right? Going into the new world order. Everyone's talking about the future and being mixed with robots. People talking about making little human robot slaves, with a chip in them, controlling them. So that's where we're going. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right. So this devil has the power to push out his agenda, right? These Rothschilds, right? These banker leagues behind the scenes, these these think tanks and things like that are pushing these things. You got to remember that these devils are just the face, like Donald Trump and all of that. They're just the face, but you have people in the background working, pushing this thing out. The banks pushing it out. The banks is talking about, they need to switch over to this type of system and all of that, right? So you'll be killed by not partaking in this system, right? Because look at people now in China with their social credit score system. All right, they're homeless and things like that. All right, because they just, they disobey the law. But we, the elect, don't have to worry about that. The hopeful elect, right? Lord willing, the Most High will protect his elect in those times, and give them abundance to have everything they need during the time where the chip is being put forth, right? When all hell is breaking loose. It says Revelation 13:16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand, which is the Karagma, right? Which is the RFID chip, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the name of his name. Yeah, because that was going to make it so you spend your money through that chip also, right? Because that's something else that he wants to track and trace and follow. Look at all the drugs. The big thing right now is, they're shipping drugs here to America. They've blown up all these fishing boats and things like that, right? Because the money is able to freely travel. People doing these little different things, hitmen, people getting paid to kill people, right? Different things that people get paid to do. This devil's going to come with this thing where he can control what happens with the money, right? So no one can do these little side jobs that they got going on. All right, so that's another thing going to throw in there with this chip. It says, here's wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for his number of a man, and his number is 600, which goes to that 666. That's what you always send these 666. You got the famous people throwing the six with their hands. You got 6 soldiers died, when really it was like the first day, like they said, it was like 650 plus. Now it could be in the thousands already, but they're talking about only 6 died, and they always coming up with some type of 6 something. That's just what they give out. Even over there in the Small Hatters land, they were talking about 6 casualties, and whatever the case may be, because they just not right in the head. All right. So just blowing the horn on that, the trumpet on that, right? These things are moving fast. Mexico is getting into the data system. All right. Lord willing, you edify from the lesson, shalom, to the hopeful elect, which consists of men, women, and children, shalom.